Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to work with Tomcat. So please turn off the HTTP if you have that running. So I have that HTTP running, so I'm just going to turn it off by Docker stop or Docker container stop. So you can either use those commands and stop the container. So this is going to stop your container from running. So you can see that how long it takes to stop your container, but it is much faster if you're going to turn off this virtual machine which I'm using. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 minutes for turning off all the service, but at least this is it happens in seconds when you compare with my virtual machine, right? So that's the improvement I'm talking about. So now that I've turned off my HTTP server, I don't see much process running on my system. So now that this work is completed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to run Tomcat on your machine. And this is also the third type of building a container is what I'm going to show you as part of this video. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to install my own Tomcat version. I'm going to use the Tomcat version which comes by default with your let's just say Tomcat 8. Let's take for an example. So go to OPT containers, and then where we are creating images, Tomcat server 1. Now I have this corrupted var file. Oh, did I say you that? Yes, this var file is corrupted. So how do I know it's corrupted? If I'm using tarf and xvf, it should actually extract this tar file. Okay, let's just use jar fn xvf should extract this file, but you can see that the zip exception. So there is something wrong about this jar var file and it's corrupted. Okay, so now I don't know about that. You also try to forget that I told you. So here, Docker file, I'm creating a Docker file here. And in this Docker file, I'm going to use a predefined or pre-built Tomcat 8 Alpine image. Alpine is a Linux flavor, and we are going to use that as part of this image. And then I'm going to introduce you to one of the labels in terms of having that as part of your container image name, some kind of a label called maintainer. So this is where your email address comes in, saying that this image is maintained by you, and for connection or contact, they can connect with you in that email address. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the file name of this var file and I'm going to put this here. So it's going to add var file into user local Tomcat web apps. This is the default folder of the Tomcat. Tomcat has the you can use add or copy, doesn't matter. Tomcat will extract when it starts if it sees a var file. So what this Tomcat does is Tomcat has a default web application folder, and Tomcat does auto deployment. Okay, what do you mean by auto deployment? You have to learn a little bit more about Tomcat. But auto deployment on a short means that it will automatically deploy this var file the moment it starts or moment it detects a new EAR file as part of the web apps folder. Now this is where the default Tomcat's web apps folder would be in the version 8.0. So I'm putting it there, and then I'm exposing. Expose 8080 port number, as in it's going to use 8080 port number. Now here to stall, okay, so here I can give a command of user local tomcat bin catalina.sh start. So if I do it like this, my command gets executed and my prompt gets stuck. I'll show you that. So what happens when you do this startup on Tomcat by default is the Tomcat absorbs my terminal, and it won't let me work on anything else. That is exactly what is going to happen when you run this image. Let me show you that. So let me copy this particular file. Let me save this file, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this file and create an image. Now to execute the file and create an image, you're going to run the image command, build tomcat_1. So as I'm going to build a new image, it's going to download this image again. If it's not, it won't be there as part of your local library because we are using Tomcat 8 Alpine Linux. So now it's searching for that image. It is downloading. I have already installed it for the practical, so that's why it's much faster. But for you, it may take a bit of time. So what it is doing is it is taking the alpha liners from my cache, and then it is deploying this var file and exporting the command as well. Now let me run this particular command. I will not be running this on the background at this moment because I want to show you something. So as I'm running it over here, so let's just remove this -d, and let's make this Tomcat, and let's make this Tomcat_1 as the image name. Here I have to give 8080 port number because 80 port number is used by my HTTP server. So now I will give 8080 port number over here and give enter. Now you can see that Tomcat started message has come in. Docker ps, and you don't see anything there because Tomcat started is Tomcat started, right? And then after that the command is over, so it got quit. That's it. So that's the problem here. So what you need to do right now is you need to, if you want this command to run on the foreground, you need to make the Tomcat interactive. You need to build your image in a way that it looks for something, like for example logs. So you can use, you remember tail-f command I told you earlier, where you can actually keep on hogging onto the session with tail-f. So we can use the same command here as well. Catalina.out. So this is a log file where we can involve our Tomcat not just by running it, starting it, but also by tailing this command, so tailing this out file, which means that it's not going to be closed very soon until you stop your Tomcat, or even stopping the Tomcat will not stop this container from exiting, because stopping the Tomcat will not close your tail-f output, right? You have to log in and kill that tail-f for you to shut down, or you need to shut down the container as normally it is. All right, that's the two way of shutting down. Let's build it again on Tomcat 2. Let's see how this command works this time. I'm gonna run it without detaching it right now. So Tomcat 1, new name. Now you can see that it says no such file or directory. I think I might have made a typo here somewhere. So let me just copy paste the syntax from my document. So now this should work because I just copy pasted from the working one. So let me build again Tomcat 3. Let me run again Tomcat 3 with the name of Tomcat 2. Right, so now you see that I got stuck inside, and there is also an exception here called out of memory exception. Now this could come in because you don't have proper memory configured for your Tomcat, and this is a common problem. Now what I'm going to do is I cannot actually control C this, or I cannot find any way out of this, right? So I have to stop the container. So I'm going to do a ps, and then you see the container running, right? So docker stop the name of the container. As a workaround for your memory issue, we have a workaround for that. So I will show you that command. So instead of running this, what you can do is you can do a -u limit. This command, you can put it as extra one. So what it does is it basically sets up a new u limit in terms of working with more files, and you're setting up a memory of 3 GB. Okay, so now when you execute it, it is throwing an error because I'm using the same name. Okay, Tomcat 3. Now you can see that Tomcat started and I'm getting output from the logs. Again, I got stuck here. So if I do a Control C, I'm not able to come out. My session has got stuck. So this is the use of detaching the session. Now, if I'm going to detach the session, I won't be involving in this mess. So I will detach the session from the runtime. So me running the command and the session will be in two different ways, two different sites. So that is the reason why anyone is detaching sessions with -d. So now the session is detached. It is running over here. So this is the Docker PS. So you can see that 9026, the same container ID, and it is currently running. Now, what happened is that, as I told you, it's corrupted. How do I know that it's corrupted? Let's examine that. Let's do a Docker exec, right? We are entering the Docker with IT, as in like we're going to give the name of the container here, and then bash. So now I've entered the bash prompt. Now where I'm in the OPT local Tomcat. And here, if I go to the logs, then I see the catalina.out. I see the issue here. Okay, so it says like blah, 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 something failed to start the component. And what component it is? It is the library container. It says like the zip file error opening the zip file, which is the var file it's talking about. So which obviously means that there is some problem, that the file is corrupted. That's what I told you. The file is corrupted. So now what I'm supposed to do is, like with this one, I will execute the stop command. I will stop this container. As the file is corrupted, this image of useless. Okay, there's no point of using this image anymore because the image which contains this particular file is corrupted. So using this image and building on top of the image has no use of browsing my application. So first of all, I need to remove the corrupted image from my location where the Docker file is. And then I will use the git clone. And then I'll use that URL I gave you earlier to retrieve my EAR files. So I think this will work because it's a very simple var file. As it's an EAR file, it didn't work because Tomcat doesn't support EAR because it's not a full-time application server. So I'm just going to put this one instead of the EAR file. I should have known about that. I was so stupid. So I'm just gonna redo the build again. Good thing is that it's fast, so that we can do it multiple times. And then let's just run it with the build number 6 and name number 7. There's some problem. Port already located. Oh, right. So just turn it off. Okay, so this is going to shut down the JVM, and we are going to use the same IP address here as well. And that's why it wants it to be shut down. And then now let's just go ahead and run this. Oh, crap. And let's do it 8. All right, so now Docker PS and then exec. Let's just change the container name to this one. Then go to logs, verify catalina.out, see if it got deployed. One failed. That's a counter. What about the other one? Do you see sample? Yeah, you see it. It's deploying sample. That's good news. Finally, something actually happened in our way. So let's try browsing it. Let's see if it works. Samples. Oh, there you go. Oh, it works. So this is the library application, and then you have some sample over here, which actually tried to do something better than nothing, right? This is also doing something, right? So that sounds great. So now we have Tomcat running on our container. I mean, it was running before, but then now it has running some custom application for your sample. So you can use the sample example, and you can try working out the same way I just did. But if you watch the full video before you do the hands-on, that's why I'm asking you to watch the full video. Sometimes I don't practice a lot of things. I just do it on the fly. So it won't affect you in any way. So thanks again for watching this video. I hope it was really useful for you in terms of real-time troubleshooting and how to identify the issues. Yes, you need to know some little bit of background on the applications which you're working so that it's easy for you to troubleshoot and fix any errors. And don't worry, I am there for you in case if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me in the question section. I'll try to answer it as much as I can. Thank you again.